right, hello everyone. My name is Charlotte Ivy, and I'm a senior this year. I know, I can't believe I made it this far either. Most people from outside St. Joseph's would say that I'm just your average Joe, pun intended. And at first, I would have to agree with them. I'm from a very traditional Catholic family with 2 younger siblings, 3 dogs, and a cat. I've had a part-time job at Chick-fil-A, so I guess I should be saying it's my pleasure to be talking to you all today. I played softball for 2 years and basketball for 1. I like hanging out with my friends, hiking, watching the sunset, listening to music, playing my instruments, writing and painting, and all other hobbies which make me ordinary. But what sets me apart from being a regular teenager is being a St. Joseph student. When I first came here, I thought it was just going to be your average Catholic school. However, after being here for 4 years, I have found that it is so much more than that. One thing that makes me different here is how many opportunities I have to pursue my faith. I'm a part of campus ministry, which has been such a highlight in my life. Campus ministry is particularly special to me because it has given me a wonderful community where I can grow my relationship with Christ and where I found refuge in the chaos of being a teenager. Started here at St. Joe's in campus ministry, my relationship with Christ just clicked. I recognized my dependence on Christ during my freshman year shortly after COVID hit. I had joined the group Search for God when I was at the lowest point of my life. My mental health was deteriorating, and to be totally honest with you, I wasn't sure how I'd find a way out. There, I began to actively seek out Christ in my life, a task which only strengthened in the solitude of quarantine. Since that time, my relationship with Christ and my faith has only grown. I am now a part of the youth evangelization team for the Diocese of Charleston, and I am an aspiring Kairos leader. That retreat in particular rechanged the trajectory of my life and my relationship with Christ and those around me. Something else that provides me with uniqueness is community. Here, we are not just people, not just an environment, but a community. One community in particular that is very special to me is Household. I have had the pleasure of being a part of Senora Russell's and formerly Senora Fessler's household during my time here at St. Joe's, which has been one of the biggest blessings to me. For those of you who don't know, Household is a group of same-gender students who you see at least once a day, every day, for all 4 years of high school. I have been blessed with what I believe to be the most special Household girls. We have so many fun traditions, like playing Just Dance or watching our favorite Disney movies during Household Snack on Wednesdays. But we also serve each other, like having honest conversations about how to be safe as a girl in high school, and dances like dance etiquette, and just having fun. These traditions are something that made me feel welcome here as a freshman, and now, as a senior, I enjoy leading these discussions. This sisterhood and familial bond has been a bedrock of support for me, and it is places like these where I am able to feel the true community of St. Joseph's. I am unique because I was first taught here to not be afraid to push my limits academically. I often hear from other friends that go to public schools about how easy their schools are and how they hardly have to put in work to do well. And while I know this varies from person to person, I believe that each St. Joseph student would agree when I say that you cannot just coast through high school here and succeed. Beginning of my freshman year, I had no idea how much work I needed to put into my classes. At my old school, we didn't have to put in much work to do well, so I was never pushed to a higher standard than what I believed I was capable of. Coming here, all of that changed. In my freshman year, I hit a wall academically because I was struggling to keep up with the rigor of my classes and the success of the students around me. But my teachers and my parents did not let me give up on myself. I was encouraged to seek help from peers so I could better understand the material. I taught myself how to properly study in a way that works best for me. I learned how to manage my time, and most importantly, I learned that giving up on myself is not an option. I could have easily given up and let the rigor of the school wash over me, but I decided that when seeing how smart my peers were, and how it was almost popular to be smart here, that I was not going to give up. I decided to push myself, and thank goodness I did. Ever since I made that decision, I subconsciously made a vow to myself that I would not give up on myself or my future, and I still try my hardest every day to keep up with that. Now, I am a hardworking student with good grades. I enjoy working hard and pushing myself because I know that it can only lead to success, which is the goal for most students here at St. Joe's. These important lessons that I learned here have prepared me for my future. I do not feel daunted by college. Instead, I feel ready and eager to take on this new challenge. In fact, St. Joseph's has also led me to discover specifically what I want my life to look like. One day last year, I randomly decided to go to an interest meeting for a summer program called MedX. I had never heard about it before, and I knew little to nothing about it, besides that it had something to do with going into the medical field, which at that point I knew I wanted to do. I ended up applying to this very competitive and highly selective program, and much to my surprise, I got in. That internship ended up being one of the best things that has ever happened to me. Not only was I exposed to so many different careers and people, and at the end of the program was asked to give a speech at our MedX graduation, but I was able to figure out what I want my future to look like. Being a nurse practitioner that specializes in pediatric psychiatry. I would not have even heard about MedX if it weren't for the opportunities that St. Joseph's provides their students. When deciding on whether or not I wanted to come here, I remember my dad left that decision completely up to me. Before high school, I attended a small Catholic school in Anderson, where I live. This means that distance is one of two major obstacles on deciding on whether or not I should come here. Because having to drive 30 minutes every day, twice a day, there and back, meant higher mileage, more money spent on gas, and taking up in total 2 hours of my parents' day just driving me to and from school until I was able to drive myself. But this was just one obstacle. My family has a very average, if not lower than average income. And as you know, St. Joseph's tuition is no joke. Looking at our financial situation realistically, most people would say that it does not make sense for me to come here. Even though my family cannot afford some of the nicer, more expensive everyday things like nice cars or other fancy items, I have never felt marginalized for it here or felt like an outsider because of our situation. Coming to St. Joseph's is a huge sacrifice for my family, especially since I have 2 younger siblings who also attend school here. My father, seeing how successful students here were and how badly I wanted to come, found a way to make it work through the help of the flexible tuition program. About a year ago, I met up with some old friends from my middle school who went to public school. And honestly, I walked away feeling so lucky, so blessed to be able to come here and have the gift of St. Joseph's. We were talking about our schools, our classes, and our friends, and honestly, all I could think about was how sorry I was for them. I could tell how miserable my friends were. They were completely different from how they used to be when they were younger. They had drifted away from the church, and their morals were almost completely changed. Everything that they once held as sacred and valuable in their lives, both in the church and how they held themselves, had changed. They were not the girls who were excited for the future, eager to learn, and content with how life is. Instead, they were now unhappy shells of the girls I used to know them to be. Now and then, we meet up for these lunches, and each time, I get reminded of just how lucky I am to go to St. Joseph's, despite the sacrifice that my family makes to send me here. Here, I have been able to grow in knowledge, expand my dreams, and discover what it means to be a hardworking student who is surrounded by those who are there to support me every step of the way to my future. To the parents, I know it is a big sacrifice, but I'm here to tell you it is worth every penny. I am forever indebted to my parents for sending me here because I could never match the gift they gave me of a St. Joseph's education. And for the future students out there, I know high school can be daunting, but I'm here to tell you that if you decide to come here, I promise you, you will not be making a mistake. I have been guided with love and compassion through some of the most fundamental years of my life. And here I am, at the end of my high school career, feeling prepared for college and my future because of St. Joseph's. This school has guided me to my future in cultivating my mind, my body, and my soul, which sets me and all other students who attend here apart from being average. I am truly not your average Joe. Thank you.